Yesterday we are discussing about merge sort, isn't it? Today we are going to see with the quick sort algorithm. Okay. So as I told you that merge sort algorithm is an efficient one. The name it is given quick. It doesn't mean that quick sort will work quicker manner. Okay. The name of it is a quick sort. Here, what is the approach it is following here is here we are going to have a pivot value. Whenever you're going for a quick shot algorithm, we'll set a pivot value each and every time. What you're going to do is I'm going to place all the value which is less than pivot value towards left side. Okay, left side values, all the elements which is less than the pivot value will be placed its left side. Okay, and elements which is greater. Okay, elements which is greater. Can I mention that element which is lesser? Okay, the element which is greater will be placed at your right side. Got it? The greater elements will be placed at the right side of your pivot value, and the element which is less than your pivot value will be placed at the lesser value will be left side, greater value will be placed at the right side of your pivot value. This is the logic behind quick shot. So now let me give you with an example, guys, so that you people can understand what is the exact flow. So we are keeping on speaking about pivot. What is this pivot? Some people used to pronounce as pivot. It's up to you to the pronunciation. So here we are going to select a value from a group of value and set it as a pivot value. So, so this selection of a value can occur at the any position of the list, guys. Now we'll start with the implementation of this algorithm. Okay. I want you people to give some group of values. Will you? Some values, guys, for doing pivot algorithm. For this quick shot algorithm. Okay. 5. Guys, non-sorted. Okay. 22, 8, 18, 5. Okay. 17, 35. What else can be? Okay. 4. 4. If you want, I'll face 55. Yeah. Okay. 55. 85. Okay. 85. Any value, say some value which falls at mid range, some in between range. So shall we take 36? Okay. We'll take 36. That's fine. 36 is fine. Okay, listen. We'll take this is a list which is available. We'll place 4 here. So this is the original list which is available, and here we are going to implement quick shot algorithm, guys. We are going to see how to implement this quick shot algorithm. Here in case of quick shot algorithm, the important place is you're supposed to select a pivot value. So this pivot value can be selected from any position. You can set pivot value from the at the first position or a mid value or a last value. It's up to you. Here we are going to set the pivot value as the last value. So this is the one where I'm going to set it as a pivot value. Okay, so based on this value, we are going to work it out. So what is the condition I told you? Whatever the element which is less than pivot value will be placed left side of it. Okay, left side of a pivot value. The element which is greater than the pivot value will be placed in the right side of a pivot value. So what does it mean? I'm taking this pivot value and bringing to its appropriate position. This is a logic behind it. I'm setting a pivot value and I'm bringing to its appropriate position. Let me write the index position of it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So till this, I guess you people are following. We are going to set a pivot value and I'm going to work with it. Now we'll start here. So what I told you, we are going to have the same list here. So first I'll compare 336 with 40. I'll compare whether 4 is greater than 46. No, it is not greater. Or I can make it as 4 is less than 46. If it is lesser, move your pointer to next one. No changes at all. If it is lesser, keep it as such. Move your pointer to the next one. Just a minute. Move your pointer to the next one. Your pointer comes here. Okay. Let me draw it at the bottom. So no changes. I'll come here. I'll check here whether 26, next comparison, I'll check whether 22 is less than 46. Yes, it is lesser. Again, I'll move my pointer. Again, I'll check whether 36, right? Why do I check 46? It's 36. The pivot value should be compared, guys. Thirty-six. Okay, and next is 8 less than 36. Okay, these two is going to be compared. So when I'm comparing 8 with 36, it is lesser. So no change, let it be. And now I'll check 18 less than 36. 36 not a mid value, right? Shall we change the value? It is coming somewhere before to it. Shall we change it as 26? Shall we keep it as 26? Okay, we'll take it as 26. Okay, the last value. So it'll be easy for you to understand the best cases, guys. I'm trying to give the best example. So it will be further if you have some other partition, it will be easy to understand. Just a minute, I'll change it as 26. Somehow all the elements are less than 26 only, right? So for what you compared. So no issues. Okay. 8 less than 26, that's fine. So 18 less than 8 less than 26, that's fine. And next comparison, I'll take 18 less than 26. Yes, condition is true. Now I'll come here. Okay, I'll check this element with 26, where 55 less than 26. No, it is not less. The here your condition is failing. Okay, so what happened? You should stop your pointer at this position itself. You should stop your pointer at this position. So for meanwhile, when I'm coming to year to year, I'll have two pointers, guys. One is to iterate from beginning to end, and other pointer is to find where the swapping should happen. Now what happened? This will be there, and one more pointer. This particular portion, your pointer will be stuck at here. It will be here itself. Okay. Let us assume you're having parallelly one more pointer along with it. Let me have just a minute. Let me insert a line. So let us assume we are having one tracker like I, which is keep on incrementing, and this comparison is made by one more pointer. So if I find that this value is less than 26, this pointer should not move. It will be at same position. Your I pointer moves. This is some more pointer. Let us mention this is the index pointer index. Okay, and this pointer index will be moving only whenever the value is less than 26. If it is greater than 26, it stops there itself. Again, I'll move on to the next position. This condition is failed. So I'll move on to the next position. You can notice that the next comparison is 17 less than 26. Yes, it is lesser. Now what I should do is this particular I pointer and P index pointer is not at the same position. Now you're supposed to do the swapping of this I pointer with this index position. Got it? Now you're supposed to swap it. So when I'm doing swapping, what happened? You should increment your P index pointer to +1, and I should swap these two elements. So if I'm performing swapping, what happens? 17 comes here and your 55 goes here. Got it? This is the updated value. So now I'll copy this list and I'll paste at the bottom. So the updated list value is 17 is year and 55 is year. So let me, here 55 is year. So where is your P index? Your P index will be at this position, isn't it? Your P index will be right now at this position. Your I pointer moves to the next one. Now I'll check whether 35 is less than 26. It is not less than, leave it. No swap. Again, I pointer moves here. Now I'll see that whether 4 is less than the 26, right? Sorry guys, it is 26. I mentioned 36 here. So next I'll check whether 4 is less than 26. Yes, it is lesser. So now what you're supposed to do? We are supposed to do swapping operation. With whom I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to do this with this person with your p index position. So this value and this value will be swapped now. Right now your I pointer is here, right? So previously you can notice there your I pointer is here, so you're swapping with this position. These two elements are swapped. And right now your I pointer is at this position. So what happened? 4 will be swapped with 55. So right now you'll get the updated list like this. After the swapping, you'll get the updated list like this, where 4 comes here and 55 goes here. So wait till where your P index will be here. Your P index will be till this. Till this. What is here? Updation is done, right? Your P index will be only till this, guys. Where it is, okay. Only till this. It will never be wherever it is updated, you can notice it. So you can notice that your P index will have a value which is less than the given number. Okay, again here I part of swap happens, it will be incremented to this position. Now we can notice that now my 85 is compared with less than 26. No, it is not lesser. So after this no more iteration, the reason is we reach the pivot value. So now we are supposed to increment your p index plus 1, and this element is swapped with a pivot value. Got it? So this particular position, start the next index position of the P index. This is taken. The next index position of a P index is taken now, and this value is swapped with your pivot value. The reason is this is the exact position of 26. So your final result will be like this, guys. Your final result is I have found the point of insertion. So the next index position of your pivot index is the point of insertion. So you're supposed to swap 26 here and 35 goes here. So now you can notice that all the element which is towards the left side of a pivot value is lesser, and again the right side of the pivot element is greater, isn't it? Now you can find it out, right? So this process has to be repeated again. So leaving the pivot value, take the remaining element. So something is repeated, guys. What should be placed here? Why do I place 4 here? 2, 4. Do we have 2, 4? Yes, here is a problem. No one has told me. What happened? We'll give it as 14. None of you told. 2, 4 is repeating. Okay. So now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take this first list separately and again apply this logic. Keep this 14 as a pivot value, then proceed this process again. The same thing is going to happen for your second list. So take this as a pivot value, repeat this process for this list again. So this process has to be repeated again and again until the list is sorted. Is this clear, guys? Come on. Respond me. Is it clear or you want me to explain again? What is it, Amitya? That is not rule. There is no rule that you should take only last element as a pivot value. We can take it beginning also. It's up to us. Okay, we are writing here based on the last element. You can take any position. It's up to us. So if you're looking somewhere, if you're browsing somewhere, you can notice that pivot value logic, each and every person will be writing their own by taking any value as a pivot value. Is this clear? Will you try logic for this? Come on, respond me, guys. Are given a flow of this quick shot. Take a pivot value, compare from the beginning till before pivot value. Each and every time, each and every index value is compared with the pivot value. If it is lesser, keep it as such. Whenever you find it is greater, you're supposed to swap with the next lesser element which is available in a array or list. So here the next lesser element which is less than 26 is 17. So I'll be swapping this 55 with 17. After 55, again the next smallest element is 14. So 14 will be swapped with 50, you're swapped with 55. So this is done. I'm comparing 80. Again, my pointer moves here. 85 is compared. No more element is less than 26. So what happened? A 35 is bought here. Sorry, my 26 is bought here. After this, no more element is less than 26. Come on, will you try logic for this? Why everyone is so quiet? Do you find it difficult? Shall we do it here or else? Shall we discuss it and do it? Yes, that's fine, right? Okay. Listen, we'll do it here. So here, let me take a list and let us assume I'll take a list of values. Shall we take the same values? What is the value we have taken? We have taken the value 4, 22, 8, 18, just a minute, 18, 55, 17, 35, 14, 85 and 26. So these are the values which we have taken. So we'll come back here. I'll put this data here. These are the values we have taken for shorting. Okay. Now we'll go ahead with the implementation part of it. So now we are going to implement quick short. Here, what are the information I'm going to pass it? My list I'm going to pass it and followed by beginning index position. And here, if you wanted, we can pass the size of it. So let us calculate the size of this one. Size of this is len of your list. Len of your list minus 1. This is your size. So let me pass my size as my parameter. So this the parameter has been passed. Now we'll receive in the function quick short. Here we are going to write separate logic guys for partition separate logic and for quick short separate logic as we see for your merge short. So quick short, here you're going to receive these three parameters, right? One is your lower index, another is your higher index. So these three we are going to accept it from the user. Now here we are going to implement this logic. So until when I should do this partition, I'm supposed to do the partition, right? Where I'm going to just a minute, I'll go back and I'll tell you. Okay. This process is a partition process, isn't it? This process is a partition process, taking one element as a pivot value and partitioning this particular list into two separate lists. This is like a divide and conquer only, but not that much as you see in merge. Merge we are doing with completely dividing it. Here we are dividing as a fragment. Somewhat it is higher than your merge shard, right? So this also has a partition. The first part has to be partition and second part has to be partition. So first we are supposed to write separate logic for partitioning. So we'll go back here. So until which you are supposed to partition, until your lower index is, you can notice that until your lower index is less than your higher index. I'll do partition. So if your higher index is greater, when this overcomes, you're supposed to break your partition. This is the logic you're supposed to apply. So here right now, let us write for one partition alone. So what you're going to mention is, you're going to store your P index, your P index in the sense, as I told you, you're going to have one index for tracking it. So I can assign here P index assign. I'm going to write separate function for partitioning, partitioning ma. So partition. So for partition, I'm going to pass three parameter. One is your array, another is your lower index, another is your higher index. These three parameter I'm going to pass it, and we are going to write separate function for partitioning. So I'm storing this, I'm returning this p index from the partition. The reason is, after doing first partition, what should I do? I should need the, what is the p index, isn't it, which is the pointer index for the next partition. So I'm returning this p index. So right now forget about this p index. It will be confusing if you're writing now. It will be as, let it be as such. Now we are going to implement this partition function separately, and we are going to write a separate logic for partition. So what you're supposed to do, once you take the complete list, what you're supposed to do, we are supposed to set a pivot value. So let us set a pivot value here. Sorry guys. Let us set a pivot value. Pivot value assign array of 5. The last index position is the one where you're going to take a pivot value. So I'm taking as a pivot value. And what is your P index initially? P index is nothing but this is a P index I'm assuming, guys. Listen here. This is the one I'm assuming as a P index, the pointer index, which is helping for me to find out the which is helping for me to swap with the exact value which is lesser. Okay, so this is a P index I'm declaring. Initially, I'll start the P index with the -1 position. So whenever I find changes, then I'll go ahead with the, whenever I find no changes, then I'll increment my P index. So right now we'll start with the P index and I'll set as -1 here. So P index is set to -1, or you can mention low -1. P index is initially low -1, one pointer less than your low. This is your P index. Now we'll start our iteration. Guys, so far I have taken a list and I am setting what is the pivot value, what is the initial P index value. I guess everyone knows that what is the purpose of P index. It is a person who is helpful for keeping track of all the elements which is less than your pivot index value. So once the value is greater, your P index is not going to move. It will be in an exact position. Now we'll implement your iteration for j in range of your low to high. I'm going to start from your low to high from the beginning till the end I'm supposed to go. In each and every time what I'm comparing if my list of jth position is less than or equal to my pivot value. This is the condition if we are checking it. If it is lesser, what are supposed to do? I'm supposed to increment my pivot value by 1, isn't it? I'll increment my pivot value by 1 and I'll do swapping of it. So this swapping for the first 2 or 3 iterations never works, guys. So whenever there is a mismatch happens, then it will work. We can notice that first for 2 or 3 iterations, it will be working as a normal one. Simply swapping with the same position. After 2 or 3 iterations, once the mismatch of one the element is greater, then we are trying to do it and this will work fine. So P is in the lower case, right? Sorry guys, let me place it in lower case. It is wiser to copy paste it. So this is done. Your swapping is done here. Is it clear so far? Are you people following me? Okay. And after this, and this process is done till the end, each and every time you're going to compare, and this process is done. And after this, at the end, what you're supposed to, at the end point, after this, when you this process will be done for each and every iteration, guys. Your P index will be incremented, and this particular comparison will happen each and every time. Why to increment P index? Good. Now again, listen here. Your P index will be initially -1. So once this value is less than once this 4 is less than 26, what happened? Your I pointer moves and your P index should be moved, right? So the P index is a person who keep tracks of when there is mismatch happen, P index will be never incremented. P index will remain at this position. The reason is I should bring the next minimum value which is less than 26 to this position. So that this is a P index person who will be incremented whenever the value is less than your pivot value. Did we increment your pivot value? Just let me check it. Yes, it is pivot value. Sorry, the typo error. When I'm speaking, I told you P index. When I'm typing by speaking about the pivot value, I typed it as pivot value. Thank you, ma. Here is a P index value supposed to incremented. So this is done. So after doing this process, what you're supposed to do at the end. So at the end, you can able to come to this position, right? So at the end, what you're supposed to swap this value. Okay, you're supposed to swap this. Your pivot value will be standing at this position. So you're supposed to mention pivot index plus 1 will be swapped. Sorry, your pivot index plus 1 will be swapped with the last index. So what happened? This 26 will be bought here, right? So for this, what you're supposed to do is last after doing all the element, when you find that no more element is greater than less than 26. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to bring your 26 here. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to increment your pivot index and swap with the last index position. This is the last step where you're going to do this. At the last step, you're going to mention pivot index plus 1 is swapped with the last index position person is monitored by high, so I can make use of high. Now the same thing. Just swapping of these two elements. Okay, after doing all the process, what I need is for the next division. You can notice that till this we done it. This till this we have written a program. And after this, what I told you, this process has to be repeated. We are supposed to take the next half, next left off and next right off. These should be taken. So if you want to take the next left off, what should I know? I should know where the element is inserted up at the appropriate element. So I should take the remaining element at your left end. So I should know what is the remaining element at my left end and what is the remaining element at the right end. So if you want to take these element, what should I know? I should know the point of insertion where I did this pivot value. So I should return this index position to the user back again. This process is a repetitive process, right? So I'll return this p index. So I'll return. So where did we insert the value? We inserted the value at p index plus 1. This is the position where we inserted, right? So this is the exact position where the pivot value has been inserted. So this is done. So this value is thrown back from the partition function. Now we are supposed to receive here. Just a minute. Now I'm throwing some value I should receive here, right? So let me declare a variable p index. This I can make use of a redeclaration here. Since p index is a local variable, I can redeclare here. So what happened? P index assign partition of our list followed by a low comma high. This is done. So until which this has to be done? Until your low index is less than your high index. So if this crosses, which means that there is only one element in your list, it is not required to partition again. So this is done. So after doing this one, what should I do? I'm supposed to take my left array and right array. This process has to be completed. So I'll take my quick short process again. So you're going to do a quick short process, and this process is going to taken for a left array and right array. So left list, here it is list, right? Okay, we'll take your left list. Your first is you're going to take your list name. And if you're taking left list, what is the index position? You can go here, guys. You can first find out the index position. So the index position is starting. Till what is your last index position ma for this? So this is your array starting from 0 till what is this position? What is the position of this p index? P index or P index position is this. Harika, Amartya. P index position is this. What is the ending position? P index minus 1, isn't it? Here the ending position is P index minus 1. Not P index minus 1. So what is the next range? For a right array, what is the range? Okay, P index plus 1 to the last element till your n or till your high value. Good. So till your high value, you're supposed to do with it. This is the range I'm supposed to take for each and every time. So let us go back here. So where it is. So you're supposed to mention starting from your low. Zeroth position is pointed by low, comma, followed by your P index. So P index minus 1 is the range. So no need of including P index again since it is already sorted. Okay. Again array. Okay, and followed by here p index plus 1. Since p index is the exact position, don't include it till you're high. So this process will happen repetitively until the end. Guys, clear with the logic? Whatever the flow I told, whatever the logic I told you, the same logic we are converted as a program. I didn't add any extra code. Is this clear for you people? Let us check what is the error. Something error is showing here. P is in uppercase. Okay, yes, this happens, guys. Somewhere here, quick shot array. Just a minute. We'll see to it. Where is it? Guys, the only the alignment is wrong. It should be placed inside the if. The quick shot is there, right? They should be placed inside. After partitioning it, it should be called. So this is placed outside. That is the reason it throws error. Is this clear with the logic, Mark? Quick shot. Do you have any doubt on it? This is all about your logic. Come on, respond me if at all you have any doubt. You want to explain the J loop? Okay. Okay, flow of the program you need it. Okay. Flow with the program. Okay, I'll explain flow with the program. Okay, we'll take this logic there. I'll explain flow with the program. Those who want to repeat it, listen carefully. Okay, we'll place this code here. Okay, listen. We'll have a code aside and this one. Okay, listen here. So what you're having initially we are going to call this. Yeah, initially we'll have this one, right? Initially we'll take a low less than high. Just as of now live it. This partition will happen until your low is less than high. This is a condition until which your partition should happen. Each and every time what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to bring the pivot value to the appropriate position. This is a condition here. So first what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to partition it. So if you want to partition it, you should know the you should make all the elements which is less than pivot value should be less placed left side, and all the elements should be placed right side, right? So right now what I'm doing is we are going to call the partition function with what is your list and what is the lower index and what is the higher index. With these information you're going to pass it. Okay, now I'll scroll a little up. Okay, we'll start with the first iteration. Listen here, what you are doing is first I'm setting pivot value as array of I. So what happened? Your array of I is the last index position will be set with the pivot value. And initially a pivot value will be low minus 1. Your low value is passed to 0. So it will be minus 1 initially. Now I'm coming inside. You can notice that for j in range of low comma high. So low is 0 and high is the last range. This is the one which is passed here. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check array of j less than high. Guys, if I give high, you are not going to touch this pivot value. The reason is comparison is going to happen only till the 8th index. It's not going to happen till 9th index. Okay, that's the reason I given exactly high. You should not give len exactly. Len minus 1 you are passing during a function call. So make sure that this should be there. Okay, and here what I'm doing is I'm mentioning array of j less than or equal to pivot value. So your array of j right now is 0th position. So 4 less than or equal less than 26. Yes, it is lesser. If it is lesser, what I'll do, I'll increment my pivot value. Pivot person comes here. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll swap this pivot index position with my j index position. The same position will be swapped. Okay, as I told you, when there is no until you reach some mismatch, it will be swapped with the same position. Okay, again what happened, this process continue. So this process will be continued again. So when the condition fails, at the last only I'll go up until unless this process is going to repeat again. Now listen. So again here j pointer increments to the next position. So I'll compare 22 with 26. It is lesser. So again your p of index will comes here. Okay, p index comes here. Just a minute. We can track it if you want it. Just give me a second. So previously your p pointer is here, right? So at the first iteration, second time I'm checking that whether when j is less than or equal to pivot value. Yes. Again your p index pointer comes here. And this swapping happens with p index pointer with the jth position, the same position swapping happens, no changes at all. Again it goes here where your I pointer moves to the next position. So when it moves to the next position, it will come here to the value 8. 8 is compared with 26. I can find out 8 is lesser. So no changes at all. So no changes in the sense P index is swapped with the same index position. So I'll say swap with the change same index position. Again it goes up. Again here 18 is less than 26. Yes. So here your P index will be incremented. It will be at this position. And after this incrementation, this will swap at the exact position. Till this it's fine. Now your J pointer comes here. Now I'll check whether 55 is less than 26. It is not less than 26. So when this condition fails, this if condition will not be executed. Got it? This if condition will not be executed. There is no more statement inside your for loop. So it goes again back to your loop again. So when it goes back to loop again, what happened? Here j will be incremented. So here j pointer moves to connects to 1. Now I'll check when 17 is less than 26. Yes, it is lesser. Now what happened? Your p index will be incremented here. Your p index come to the next position. So once it is lesser, what should I do? My p index should be modified, right? Your p index will be coming to this position. Now what happened? Now swapping of p index with a j pointer. Now what happens? 17 comes here and 55 goes here. Got it. And again after this your p index will be at right now with this position. Okay, this position wherever you swap. Right now your p index will be here and your j pointer will move to the next position. So this happens continuously. This process will be repeated continuously. Till this, are you clear guys? Clear with the flow? You want me to go till the end? Till this it's okay? So you want till the end. Okay, I'll explain till the end. Just a minute. So till this we done it, right? So your p index is staying here and your j pointer moves to the next position. This swapping has happened. So after this what happened? Your j pointer moves to the next position. Just a minute. Your j pointer moves to the next position here and your p index stop here itself. Where we are, just a minute ma. So 17 is swapped and 25 is here and your p index will be at this position. Okay, your p index will be at this position itself and your j pointer will move on to the next value. Let me write here itself ma. It will be easy for you to be able to track it instead of going down. Okay, so your p pointer will be, your p index will be here and your j pointer will be, since this operation is done, your j point your I point, let us take your I pointer will move to the next one. Again next value is taken. 35 is compared with 26. We don't find this. 35 is, just a minute. Say 35 value is compared with 26. No, it is greater. Again, your pointer moves to the next value. So I pointer moves here. Your 14 is compared with 26. Yes. If it is there, then what happens? When it is lesser, what you can do? Again, increment your point of index. P index value. So if your P index comes here. So right now, 14 is swapped with 55. Okay. And right now, your P index is at this position. Okay, your p index is swapped at this position and this is the updated value. And your I pointer moves to the next pointer and here I find that 85 is, which is greater than 26, no swap happens. So right now this value is going to be here. So you can notice that. So till this point I have found all the elements which is less than 26. This is done right. All the elements are less than 26. And here after this I can find out all the elements are greater than 26. Now what should I do? I should bring this 26 to the appropriate position where this 26 should be swapped with this element. So this point, if I, for that I should know the position of this. So we know that your p index is still this. So increment your p index and swap 26 with 35. So this is the last step you are doing it. After coming out of it, when you loop over, you can notice the last step. Just a minute, I'll clear this drawing. You can notice this last step, this step. I'm incrementing my p index by 1. Your p index stops here. I'm incrementing my p index by 1. Okay. And after this, what you are doing, we are swapping this element with a high value. Got it? Is this clear with this quick shot, ma? Do you have any doubt in it? You can let me know. This is the flow of it. So for a few iteration, you will find that the same index value is swapped with it. So whenever there is a mismatch, then it is going to happen. And this process is going to repeat for your left array and right array again. So after this is done, you can notice that it will throw your p index to the back to your quick shot, and this process is going to take with 0 to, so this is your 0th position, right? So this is what here. So this is your left array which will be taken right now. This person will be taken as your left array. So on the remaining elements, this will be taken as your right array. 85 is there, right? So this element, the remaining this element is going to be taken as your right array. So for left array index is 0 till your p index minus 1. This is your p index, right? So p index minus 1 is your left array, and followed by your p index plus 1 till your starting position, till your high value. So this is what I'm passing it, and this quick shot is going to happen recursively. So this is what I told you. So in case of merge shot and quick shot, we'll use recursion where there are unavoidable situations. Here this process has to be repeated recursively. So if you're putting in a loop, it will take vast amount of time, right? And number of lines will be too high. So in order to avoid it, here we can use recursion. Come on guys, is this clear? Do you have any doubt in it? You can let me know. So I've given a clear explanation of it. Good. Among 150, only 3 is responding. What about others? Guys, what happens to you people? Once data structure has started, response is getting reduced. Why it is so? You people are there in, but I could see that only few are responding. What about others, ma? Okay, fine. Listen. And next is, we are done with all the complexity of algorithm, right? All the algorithm is done and the binary search is done. So we'll have a complexity of complexity of this, we'll discuss it. Okay, Amatya, I'll see to it and I'll try to explain you, okay? Here, we'll discuss about the complexity, ma. Here, in case of complexity, so what is the best case and worst case in case of linear search time complexity? We have discussed about it. Best case, linear search. Time complexity of it is good. When the element is at the first element, order of 1. Worst case, when it is the last element or the element is not there, it will be big O of n is the worst case. In case of binary search, what is the best case? Okay, Purna, I'll share it. After completing this, I'll share the code, okay? Best case. Best case, Samatya, if it is a mid element. Harika, good, that's right. So at the first iteration itself is a mid element. At the first iteration, I can find it, right? So for one iteration, I'll have big O of 1 as its complexity. And worst case, binary search. Good. Big O of log n is the binary search worst case. Okay, so the worst case is a very less. So I told you people about the complexity, right? Could you remember the flow of it, guys? So what is the order of it? The first one will be the constant value. Okay, and after this you'll have the remaining value one by one, and we'll have squares and all those things. Could you remember the complexity, time complexity calculation? Could you people remember about it, ma? The sequence. I given a flow of it. Yes, right. You want it. Okay, I'll tell you here if you want it. First is 1. 1 will have minimum time complexity. Then after this we'll have log n. Okay. And after this we'll have square root of n. Okay. 1 is a minimum complexity ma. And after this n iteration. And after this n log n iteration. And after this n power 2. And after this n power 3. It goes on like this. Okay. And 2 power n, 3 power n. It goes on like this till the exponent of n power n. So the best case we'll take is minimum number of iteration will be taken as a best case, guys. And you can notice that the worst case is the worst case is n in case of linear search, but in case of binary search you can notice that log n is the worst case. So compared to your binary search, linear search is a better one. And in case of bubble sort, your best case will be order of n. Okay, and the worst case is, so best case in the sense where minimum number of iteration, only one swap has to happen like this. It is a best case. We are taking it. Okay. And the worst case is big O of n square. Good. Just a minute. Big O of n square. So what about the selection sort? What's the best case we have found? Selection sort, could you remember? Selection sort. Big O of n, there is no order of 1. Order of 1 is not possible, right? Selection sort. So this is order of n, or in some cases Python program will have order of 1, or some cases in other program if at all you are using 2 loop. We have written the reducer loop by using slicing, right? In those cases it will be order of n. In other cases it will be order of n square. It depends. Okay. And here worst case is order of n square. So we'll take best case as order of n and worst case as order of n square. It will be better. Order of n square. So for merge, for insertion sort, the same thing. There is no variation at all. Almost same thing. Insertion sort and selection sort. Only the logic is varying. Apart from this, both are almost same thing. What about merge sort, guys? So wherever you are using divide and conquer approach, your iteration reduce. What could be the complexity of merge sort then? Merge sort, any idea about it? What could be the algorithm? What is the complexity of merge sort? It is big O of, yes, log n. Big O of log n times. Good. It is the best case and worst case. So that is the reason these people are using merge sort for our algorithm. Default sorting is using this one. The same way best case here is log n, and your worst case is big O of n square. So this is the time complexity for each and every type of sorting algorithm, guys. Is that clear? Clear, right? I'll give you one small program. If time permits, you people can implement it, ma. Okay. I'll ask you by afternoon. I want you people to, there's two lists there. You want to merge two lists by using merge sort. I thought you merge sort. I guess you people remember, right? There is two lists, sorting the list and merging it. Got it? Sort the element in a list and merge it. Don't merge and sort. Merge sort is all about during your sorting itself, you're supposed to merge it, you're supposed to sort it and merge it. If you try this one, I'll ask you by afternoon. We'll discuss about this by afternoon. Okay, you can note on this question, and someone asked about this program, right? I forgot about this one, guys. Guys, those who want this code, I'll share this code in the chat box. You can make use of it. this quick shot algorithm. Just I'm sharing this quick shot algorithm as well as this question, guys. Try to merge two lists in a shorting way, in a shorted way. Okay, try this out. It'll be interesting. Your questions will be like this. If some cases, worst cases, they'll ask you to implement merge shot. Okay, try this one. We'll discuss by afternoon.